Hi, everybody, and thanks for checking out Caught in Limbo. We've had such a great response to our first two episodes, episode 1, The Wrapping Paper, and episode 2, The Gratuity, that we thought it would be so cool to get some members of the cast together and kind of go over some questions and have them answer some fan questions that have come from our fans, our viewers, from all over the United States and beyond, which is a really cool thing. So we're excited to be joined by a number of members of our cast. We have Dennis Skiba, who played the role of Gumball Rudy in episode 2, The Gratuity. Angela Potrikus is here, who played Janice Shore in episode 1. Melissa Sgambelluri plays the role of Maggie Hart in episodes 1 and 2. Matt Chernobyl, who played Arthur in the Gratuity episode. Peter Delocis, who played the role of Sebastian Dyie, the funeral director, in episode 1. And certainly last but not least, Ryan Palmer plays the role of Jason Rudy in both episodes 1 and 2. Melissa, ladies first, we'll start with you.
All right.
First question, Sean in Wildwood, New Jersey wants to know, your dislike for Jason in the show is evident. How do you both get along when you're off screen?
Can I plead the fifth on that? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We get along perfect. We vibe, we have fun. And I think that's what makes the characters kind of have fun with each other, is that we actually really do like each other. We actually really do laugh together, and it's that fantasy of playing that part that makes it so much fun. So, love you.
I see, Ryan, you're shaking your head and laughing. Do you agree?
I was nodding and laughing.
Yeah, I admire him so much. I think he does such an amazing job with the role, and it's just been so much fun watching him develop the character, and it's a lot of fun to play off of, because sometimes I can't even keep a straight face, but I do my best, you know?
Now you're making me blush.
And so Angela, Angela, you've spanned the United States here. You've got questions from Houston, Orlando, Pennsylvania, and I think one out in California. So you're doing pretty good.
Awesome.
We want to take a look at one from Brian in Orlando, Florida, who says, "My mom hates my best friend too. I showed her I showed her the show and she lost it. What's next, or what could be next for Janice?"
Ooh. Well, yeah, because, Janice is nowhere to be found in episode 2, so maybe episode 3 she needs to come back and try to talk some sense into this crazy world. Make some sense out of this crazy world. But yeah, I think it'd be fun for Mom to come back in and have a presence.
Now,
With Gumball.
Well, I was going to say, there's been some discussion of that.
Wonderful.
With Gumball. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll hook up with you, Angie. Sure.
Whoa!
There you go.
There we go.
And the show gossip.
Spoiler alert.
Let's start some show gossip.
That's it. Start writing right now. Start writing.
Now, Peter, we should also mention that there was a couple people who suggested that Angela, or I should say Janice, and Sebastian would take in Angela as a employee at the funeral home. Want to get your feelings on that?
Love scene.
That would be.
There you go.
On a coffin.
Hey, whatever keeps the marriage alive. I can't imagine working for Sebastian and liking the experience. This would be really interesting.
I think she'd have some things to say, Miss Janice, don't you?
Yeah, I kind of think that you only have something to say to Sebastian once.
Maybe.
Doesn't seem like the world's most patient dude.
Well, Sebastian, maybe she can take the inventory of the pens every week or something.
You never know. I mean, that's the thing is, I'm not improvising this. It gets written, so that's up to Steve. That's not up to me. Whatever happens is up to whatever's created.
Well, Peter, let's stay with you here for a question.
Sure.
Let's go to Toronto. Ben in Toronto, and he's actually written us a couple of times.
Can't go to Toronto. Borders closed.
He's written us a couple times with the same question. He says, your scene from the funeral home office had to take several takes because it was pretty funny. He wants to know, how long did it take you to actually have that scene completely done? He thinks it took a while, and I'll kick that to you.
It took several takes because I'll be honest, I was incredibly nervous. So unfortunately, it took several takes because it took a long time for me to get the words right. My background is in improv, and although I do conventional theater, I got very, very uptight about the lines, and thank goodness Steve put me in a better place about that. But I really feel badly, for instance, that I didn't give you a lot of long takes. Now, fortunately, it does seem like the scene lends itself to reaction shots and a back and forth. But I didn't give you that option because I just got so uptight. But, it worked with the character, I guess. But it had been so long since I'd done a movie that I was very I was very eager to do a good job. And that sometimes makes it harder.
I know the room was really small. Did it have anything to do with? Did that make you feel better or worse, or did that not really impact you?
That had nothing to do with it. It was what I brought into the room that I thought was the problem. As for filming it went pretty easily. I think we did like 4 or 5 passes on it and we were done. But you never got a full take from me from beginning to end.
Wait, did you laugh or were you not doing the lines? Because I didn't get to see this.
I did not laugh. No, there was a lot of laughter in the room.
Oh, okay.
Right, because
Maggie was in there.
There wasn't supposed to be.
I have this theory that there's only so much laughter, and that if you take it as an actor, you don't leave it for the audience. Because Sebastian doesn't have any self-awareness. He doesn't realize that he's an idiot. He gives out coupons for funeral services.
Yeah, I thought that was good. I like that.
He's a twit. He doesn't have that insight. He doesn't know he's funny. Other people look at him and know he's funny.
But Peter, that scene is charted as one of people's funniest and most favorite scenes.
Until we get to the nude scene between,
Nah.
On that note, let's transition. How about Matt Chernobyl? Matt, you played Arthur in episode 2, and believe it or not, Thomas in London has a question. It's a pretty good one. He says, I once broke up with a gal because she had idiot friends.
Fair.
His words, not mine. My parents thought I was crazy. I showed them the show, and what a moment it was for me. This is for Matt, do you have any words for a victory lap?
Oh boy. No, I like to think that the character of Arthur is slightly above rubbing the nose of the friends in whatever errors they make, but I don't want to let too much out of the bag because we've already started talking about the third script. And I think Tom in London will be pleasantly surprised by how Arthur gets to voice his victory lap within the episode. So, well, leave it on that cliffhanger, Tom.
Also, pal, she might have had idiot friends, but she also decided to hang out with you.
Ooh.
Well, she clearly was looking for something better.
Okay.
Technically, I'm not the friend. So.
Speaking of something better, Ryan Palmer, you ready? Ryan, Daniel in Washington, D.C. How much to rent Jason to come to my house for a holiday dinner and get everybody upset and mad?
$50 an hour, and I'm there.
And travel expenses.
First class only.
Got to include lobster, right, Ryan?
Always got to include lobster.
That's right.
I'm sure they can get some of it down in D.C. I don't know.
How quickly could you end or break up a family dinner? That's the big question.
Ooh. Could take bets. Everybody could take bets at the
Yeah,
beginning.
really. I think, figure out who people liked in November and go the other way. Be done.
Wow.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. A lot of Thanksgiving dinners will be a lot calmer this year, maybe.
True.
Not if I'm there.
You can mute you on Zoom.
All right, so how about Dennis? Dennis Gumball, the character Gumball, has proven to be like a magnet for so many people. Everybody seems to really, really be drawn to the character Gumball. And a great example is Deborah in East Lansing, Michigan. She says, Gumball is exactly like my father-in-law. did you study a certain character to prepare for this role?
Well, Steve, there's days when I wake up, I feel as though I am Gumball. It doesn't seem like it's much of a stretch for me at times, which is kind of scary. But actually, the person or the actor that I did kind of model Gumball after was Howard Morris, who's done, he's no longer with us, but he's done tons and tons of work. His resume is just a mile long. He's best known for like 5 episodes on TV in the Andy Griffith Show when he played Ernest T. Bass.
Yeah, hilarious.
This guy's resume, he's done so much voice work. He worked with Hanna-Barbera for years and years and years and years, hundreds and hundreds of voiceovers for cartoon series and things like that. But he's well known for Ernest T. Bass. That's his claim to fame. And so that's kind of who I modeled, because he was like really rough around the edges and kind of, I don't know, he was wild, he was belligerent, he was basically in his show, he was a hillbilly. So I try to bring a lot of that backwoods type of stuff to the character. Because Gumball obviously has issues. He's a child he's still a child in an adult body, but he's still a child. And he's certainly gotten enough trouble as a youth in high school and things like that. So,
We've
he
had
was shooting at
Gumball. We've had Gumball. We've had recommendations for Gumball getting together with Janice. We've had recommendations for Gumball and Arthur to get going to business together. We've had Gumball and Sebastian Dyie kind of going at it in an episode. That character is such a magnet for people. So, what does the future hold for Gumball? Who does he best match up with?
Oh boy, I don't know. I think Janice. I think I could see myself some kind of storyline there, but I think I owe it to Maggie to get with her and and have a long discussion, because I know she hates me, or she doesn't think highly of me, and I kind of want to get to the bottom of that. But Gumball will go in whatever direction the writers and the producers would like to see Gumball go. I think there's a lot of good matchup possibilities. So
Gumball is the father of my arch nemesis, so it's kind of like,
exactly,
that's why it works that way. You kind of were set up for it already.
Yeah. I mean, just your greeting at the table in the restaurant, Hello.
No, man, I'm a hard. Maggie is harsh sometimes.
Hello, Gumball.
She is. She really is.
Right?
Yeah, but I was as polite as I could be to you. I mean.
And I feel like Gumball means well. I really do.
I do
like
mean
when
well.
you look at the character, it's just he's trying his best and he's trying to have fun. And
yeah, my capacities
just
are kind of limited. They're not far-reaching. I'm in my own little world.
I think what needs to happen is Maggie mediating like marriage counseling between Gumball and Mrs. Gumball. Whoever that may be,
Ooh.
whenever that may come, but I think that'd be.
I'm all for it.
Are you still with Mrs. Gumball? Do we know?
As of episode 1.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
alive and married.
It's kind of fragmented a little bit, I think, the continuity in the episode. So I don't really know. I mean, that was a question I was going to have. What is my status? I'm not even sure, to tell you the truth.
I would say it's a very loose interpretation of being together.
Yeah, it's in the Gumball sense of things, right?
For the health insurance, that's it.
Yeah, I
Held
think I have
together
more,
with actual gum.
I think I have more of a relationship with my gum than I do my partner. This is true. Yeah.
Well, Dennis, let me throw one more at you. We'll do another lap. We'll just go backwards here. Dennis, this one, we need the PG version, if that's okay.
Oh boy.
Mike in Levittown, New York, which is in Long Island. What did you say to the police secretary to get you arrested?
To get me arrested, yes. It's Maggie handed Jason and Sal the police report. Well, my standard pat answer would be, what happens at the police station stays at the police station. But I'm kind of thinking that I probably said something to the secretary like, what do you say we go to one of the back cells and I'll show you some of my gum moldings or something like that. That's about as clean as I could make that, Steve. So, just apply the editing where you have to on that one. But that's
We'll
probably
do that.
what did me in.
I'm guessing there'll be no follow-up discussion or comments after that one. But
No, I didn't think so.
All right, Ryan, Camille in New Haven, Connecticut, you appear to love playing this character. Is that a legit statement?
Yeah, you know, a lot of what I do a lot of comedy, but a lot of my roles outside of this tend to be kind of dry humor. You know, like, of course, I don't have an example like Dennis did, but to be kind of off the wall comedy is quite a lot of fun. And I noticed, with episode 1 to 2, I found him more relatable with how I kind of talk and act. But Jason being far more annoying. And Dennis, I think you can vouch for me on that one.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, I mean, it's like a fun, off-the-wall character. Yeah.
Fun off the wall is a good way to put it.
I do like off-the-wall, yeah.
All right, Matt, how about, Matt, you're getting all the international questions tonight. I hope that's okay. So we're going to go to Australia, Perth, Australia.
Well, I'm an international man of mystery. We're going to find out in episode 3.
So Robert in Perth, Australia, Matt says, Arthur is a smart man. It's 2 smarts. Have you ever played a role like this before?
Yes. No. Yeah, I've played a couple of smart characters before. I think there are different levels of smart, right? So like, I was fortunate enough to play Stanley in Streetcar back when I was in college. And, he's not necessarily book smart, but he's certainly street smart and very savvy. I played, this is actually one of the roles that I've actually played an older person. So, or I guess an older adult. I played a role a couple years back in Dyie for Murder, which was a really interesting show with, depending on what script you have, either the character of Mark or Max, if you have ever seen Dyie for Murder, he's a writer, and he writes mysteries. Yeah, I have played smart characters before, but I think in the video log we did earlier, I really think Arthur is like, he's like the Greek chorus coming into this absolutely insane world, speaking the truth, kind of like seeing the forest through the trees of what everybody is. And I think what's so endearing about all these characters is that they really are who they are. They're not pretending to be someone else. They're exactly who they are. Arthur just is smart enough to recognize something that's ridiculous when he sees it, and it's in front of his face. But to answer the question, yes, I have played smart characters before, and I look forward to playing smart characters in the future.
The smooth segue back to Peter. Peter, can you believe we actually got a question for you from a funeral director? That to me is the
I can actually.
All right, Matthew in Grand Rapids, Michigan. As a funeral home director myself, your character was hysterical to me. How much of your role is scripted versus simply you improvising?
All of it was scripted. All of it was scripted. And honestly, the funeral directors I know, and I know several, are very empathetic, have great insight, really have a desire to help other people. And the fact that Sebastian has none of those things. I'm like, let's go. Yeah, every word of it was scripted.
Very nice. I mean,
none of the business, none of the physical business was in the script, but all the words were scripted.
And you said it right. There's no empathy when it comes to Sebastian Dyie. He's very autocratic. You either, you step out of line, doesn't matter what's going on, you're out of here.
He is in the wrong business. I love it. I love that difference between someone's conception of themselves how they actually are to the world. Just hilarious to me.
All right, Angela, Brad in Erie, Pennsylvania says, how long did it take you to nail the anger piece of your character?
Well, first of all, I have to say thank you very much for thinking that I nailed it. Yeah, the thing with anger is you've got to balance it, and it has to come from someplace real. And so, while, yes, I'm a mother, and while I didn't have children who did these kinds of antics, I definitely had kids who did normal kid things that make their parents frustrated and angry. So it didn't take too long, honestly, because all I had to do was sort of pull up a couple of times my daughter drove me nuts, and then just applied it to the scene that we were doing and used that with the words that were written, and off we went.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, and final question from Melissa. How about Amber in Buffalo, New York? Not too far away. She says, I just want you to know that in this show, this is like my actual life. My brother and his best friend drive me crazy. Can you imagine doing this in real life?
I would have to say maybe in my younger years I can relate to this. But I think the difference between what it was like back then was like I wanted to be involved versus Maggie does not want to be involved, even though she inserts herself because she thinks she knows better. She's almost like trying to take on my mom's role. Can I imagine it? I think if I really tried, I could, but I wouldn't really want it, if that's fair. Yeah, I think everybody knows what it's like to feel like somebody that in their life that drives them crazy. Like, oh, why are they acting like that? Why are they doing that? But so that's, I think that what makes it so relatable. It's like we all kind of know someone who's a little quirky or kooky and looks at life a little differently than us, you know, and it's more about being open in that moment. But Maggie she's not really quite there yet.
All right, now I'm going to put you on the spot. You didn't know this was coming, but everybody has to answer. So you can't pick your own character. You got to pick somebody else in the session and tell us a storyline or something that you would like to see happen to that character.
I think I did that already. I think I'm clear from that when I had the Mr. and Mrs. Gumball. So
you'll have to pick. You have to pick another one. All right, is that fair? And then we'll wrap it up. So Dennis, you go first. One storyline that you'd like to see happen to somebody in this session right now.
Oh, wow. Jeez. You put me on the spot here, Steve. Well, let's pick a character. Maybe Sal. What can Sal do?
I don't know. We can come back to you if you want. You want us to come back to you?
Well, I can't think of anything on the spot. I mean, I can see Sal's taking on some sideline business, but I'm not too sure what kind of business yet. But something that's kind of not really above board, which is not really like Sal. I think Sal is pretty grounded, so I got to see him doing something opposite of his character.
All right, Angela, how about you?
First thing that popped into my mind was Ryan, your character, Jason. I think it might be funny to have him do something really nice and then have everybody wait for the shoe to drop, wait for something to happen or for him to, say, oh, just kidding or whatever, but then it never does. And it really was a nice thing and we all can't believe it.
That'd be fun.
How's that
for I wouldn't believe it.
Sorry? What'd you say?
I wouldn't believe it. Probably.
Yeah, right.
The whole concept of Jason and nice going together is very difficult for me to grasp.
I know it is, which is why that's kind of what popped into my head is like, could we do that and get away with it? Or would the shoe drop again at the very end and go, oh, just kidding. I don't know.
All right, Matt Chernobyl, you're up.
Oh man, I like scenes where the script is really flipped. So I would say something like seeing Gumball in like a high society fine dining scene. It'd be like, yeah, absolutely, where he really plays the part so well when he's around other people cut from the same cloth. I think that would be an interesting dichotomy to see.
I like that, Matt. I like that.
You know, they're not called moldings; they're called sculptures at that level.
That's right. That's right. More advanced. That's right. More advanced.
All right, Melissa.
All right, I got one for my mom. So here's what I'm thinking. My mom comes to me and says, I really want to start dating. Can you help me set up an online profile? I say, sure, let's do it. So she matches with a few guys, but then she decides to go on a date with someone and it ends up being Gumball sitting at the table. In some way, shape, or form, he used different pictures, like somewhere, maybe he catfished.
Yeah.
And she gets to dinner and there they are sitting together.
There we are, the perfect match.
Well, then that could that segue into what Matt just said. You know, that whole fancy dinner thing.
Yeah, we could be at a really
Oh.
nice fancy dinner. Maybe you invited me to some fancy affair, and I have to try to live up to it.
Because I like to think my mom's, sophisticated that way. She got to choose the restaurant.
Yeah. Or just expected to be taken to a nice dinner, you know.
Right.
Saying
Yes.
my dad can't be fancy.
Well, I think he's fancy in his own mind, you
Just
know?
because I hang out at the raw bar eating raw clams and everything.
All right, Peter.
Years of overvaluing his pen collection have left someone subject to an IRS audit.
Ooh.
There you go.
Very nice.
I'm
And
in.
finally, Mr. Palmer.
I think Maggie's ex-husband needs to show up in some capacity. He shows up, and then Maggie has to come to Jason and Sal and say, how do I mess with him? Or how do I get rid of him? Or
Yeah.
there's a thought.
Mm-hmm.
Who is my husband? What does he look like? What is he like?
He looks like a jerk.
Yeah.
Your standards must have been low back
Yeah.
then, right?
He shows up, but he's an unseen character. Only you.
I was just gonna. That's exactly what I was gonna say, Peter. You never see him.
Oh.
Right. And for everyone else, he has just left.
There you go.
That would be interesting.
So as we wrap up, here's what I can say to all of our viewers. And again, you all should feel really, really great because our viewership keeps going up and up and up. And we're talking about the United States and now beyond, which is really, really great. And that's a testament to all of your work. And you guys were all amazing. And what I can tell all of our viewers, even though we can't give away everything, is that everyone here is going to, in some way, shape, or form, as long as we keep doing episodes, we'll make it back into episodes and become more of a storyline in the show.
Got a
If everybody's
job.
okay with that.
God, I hope I get it. I hope I get it.
You're all hired. You're all hired. So there's more ideas, there's more everything. I want to thank our producers, obviously, but thank the people who make it go, and that's all of you for all of your great talent and hard work. So it's been incredible. And once Corona gets done, which hopefully is soon, we'll get back in the swing and we'll get everybody back together and we'll start cranking out another couple episodes. Sound good to everybody?
Sounds great,
good.
Steve.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, so tell all of our viewers to keep those emails coming. I want to thank all of you for joining us today, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy your Thanksgiving.
Thanks, Steve. You too.
Bye.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.